next question right here.
My name is Connell. I run an energy and analytics company here in New York City. We disposed around the financing and building our sales team for the first time. It's basically been the two of us. Derek's our SDR. I run most of the meetings. What would you recommend to the top, like a small set of KPIs to start tracking at this size, this stage? And,
So brand new company, raised some money.
Not brand new. We have about 70 clients. We've been around for a few years. Just close to Series C preferred. We're hiring. We plan to bring on two more SDRs for the next month or two, and then some more reps.
So ramping up as a company, growing. You're the first two sellers, one SDR and one. Oh, okay. So you got a founder, you got an SDR. What does it look like to ramp up from there, and how and when should you do it? And what KPIs should you use to measure the business?
So a couple things. I mean, some of this may be obvious. I apologize in advance. First big problem that people make is that they assume that a revenue build, like we're trying to go from 3 million to 6 million next year. And so what they do, this is a classic mistake, and frankly, I've made this mistake, which is that you don't just hire a salesperson. What you don't do is you don't say, this quota is this, I'm going to hire this many people, I'll plug in some attrition rate, I'll plug in some quota attainment rate, and that is how much money we will make next year, and that is how much I'll have to spend. That's not what you do. Because the output of sales is, the dollar. It's really the cost of acquisition needs to be fully loaded. You don't just need marketing spend. Every salesperson requires a set of leads to support them. They require a set of technology stack to support them, right? Like $50 a month for this and $70 a month for that, whether it's a Salesforce license, whether it's a Marketo license, whether it's a Sales Loft license, whether it's Discover Org. So you need a spend on the tech stack or the enablement that you're going to provide. And then the other classic mistake, besides the SDR to AE ratio, which you also screw up, not you, but people, is they screw up the manager ratio. So they say, we're going to hire 10 reps. They don't figure out that you need leads to support. You need a point of view on your pipeline to support those 10 reps. You need to get 10 licenses for all the technology that you're going to need. Oh, and by the way, span of control, meaning like managers are most effective when they manage at most 7 people. So you're probably going to need 2 more managers for those 10 people. If you forget about that and you're running the business and then you realize that you've messed it up, then you can mess up the cost equation. Or what might really happen is that like your VP of sales or your sales director, the person that's doing it, will feel sheepish. They'll feel like they're putting you over your cost expectations by telling you, hey, I need to hire a layer of management. And you'll say, well, I thought that's what you're supposed to do. And they say, but it's 10 people and I can't really manage 10 people. So anyway, that's just a caveat. When you're building the model, do not make the mistake of just 10 reps times this is their quota times 85%. That's how much money I'm going to make, because that's not how it works. In terms of KPIs, I would say, I just, we've got some of the folks in the room that I work with, and they teach me a lot. It's got to be daily. That's the first thing, right? It's daily. The way you get to wherever you want to get for the year is this, again, things that are obvious, but it's an accumulation of days that turn into weeks, months, et cetera. So first of all, demand generation is the most salespeople. The first thing is that product market fit is the most important thing. So if people don't love what you do, then you need to stop. Don't hire any more salespeople until people love what you do. If people love what you do and you think there's a big market, great. Now you need to understand that it's better to staff up marketing before sales, in my opinion, right? It's better to have an overflow of leads and backfill salespeople into that surplus of leads than to hire, well, like I just said, 5 salespeople and then say, oh shit, we need 200 leads because I just figured out that every salesperson needs 10 leads and I hired, 20, whatever the math is, 20 salespeople. I don't do simple math anymore because computers were invented. But anyway, so the point is that I would track, you got to know that you have to, before you can hire salespeople, I think you need to show that you can predictably generate demand. And demand can be generated first by, however you're going to generate leads, you need to show that you can do that, unless it's going to be 100% outbound prospecting, and then that's going to take 6 to 9 months because of those sales cycles to figure out if you've got something. So So obviously on a daily basis, you need to know how many leads you're generating. You need to have a definition of what a good lead is, however you define that. You need to look at that. We look at the dollar value of pipeline that's created every day. We look at the number of new sales opportunities that were created every day. You can look at how many ops, if you've got a good sales ops person, how the progression is through the funnel, how many ops move from discovery to demo to something else, negotiation, whatever you want to call the stages. I don't look at that every day. Maybe I should. And then I'm looking at, obviously, closed business every day. And then not every day, but every month, every quarter, definitely every month, if not more often, I'm looking at sales cycle length. I'm looking at win rates. I'm trying to benchmark. I would like 25% close rates on op close rates. 20% is good. 15% is not that good. So every new opportunity created, I want 1 out of 4 to close. That's what I'm hoping for. I want 1 out of every 2.5 demos to close, meaning 40%. I want anything that's got a verbal agreement to close 65 to 70% of the time. But the things that I care most about, because the things that I need to grow, I'm looking at demand generation. I'm looking at kind of like the top to middle of the funnel every single day. How much pipeline did we create? If we created pipeline, I can find reps to close it.